Now on 4 News Now at 6, bring in the deck furniture and take the dog for a long walk. I'm tracking a strong storm system making its way into our area. I'll let you know when to expect the rain in your First Alert forecast.
And tonight we are going to take a deep dive into a new report to see how snowy and cold our winter could be.
And now's the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for the winter weather. We have tips on what you can do right now to make sure you don't get stuck in all the cold.
And get badged or get out. Big changes are coming to Camp Hope. Who's enforcing the new policy and how many people have already left? You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Our higher than average temperatures are coming to an end, and with it, a whole lot of much needed rain. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Aaron Lunat. Let's get right to it. We'll send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker in the First Alert Weather Center. Chris.
Well, here are 4 things to know about this upcoming change in the weather. We do have rain on the way for Friday, measurable rain for the first time in a long time. That, along with an uptick in our winds, is going to help clear out that smoke, possibly for the season. We do have a big cooling trend coming. Our temperatures are going to be, well, just back down around average or a little below, but quite a drop from the 70s that we were getting used to. And there's mountain snow on the way as well. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We did get a preview today as a weak cold front made its way through the region, bringing a very little light rain to the area. There's more on the way. Our forecast radar starting off at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning shows that rain starting to develop right around noon. That will pick up in intensity in the afternoon. A little bit of a rain shadow, however, starting to develop with that system. And then most of the wet weather will be concentrated over the mountains and thankfully over the fire areas as we get into Friday night and most of Saturday. Temperatures right now, quite a dip from our 70s, but we were still above average today. We're at 60 in Spokane, 59 in Coeur d'Alene. We're mostly in the 50s and 60s around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Should be a beautiful evening to take care of those last details before the rain moves in. We'll be in the 50s with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. I'll be back with your weekend forecast and more wet weather to tell you about in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Chris, thank you. And this cold weather means drivers need to be more careful when there are wet roads or slick roads.
And a local mechanic says drivers should start inspecting their vehicles now before it's too late. New at 6, Peter Choi has a safety checklist for your family to stay safe behind the wheel in winter weather conditions.
Fall is finally here in Spokane. The question is your car ready for the rain and the snow? One local mechanic says being prepared for weather conditions is the key to your safety.
Sometimes the snow comes real late. Last year the snow came pretty early. We had snow this time last year.
Unpredictable weather can make many drivers nervous, especially when
we'll get lots of thawing during the day and a freeze overnight, and that makes all kinds of icy conditions, packed snow, icy packed snow, black ice.
To stay safe behind the wheel, he says checking tires is a must.
We want to make sure that all season tires are in very good condition, if not running winter tires, either a studless or a studded snow tire, because a winter tire is going to yield better results than an all season.
One of the things you also want to do is change the wiper fluid to a winter version to de-ice your windshield.
And check if your car's antifreeze is in good condition, because cold weather can leave a major damage to the engine.
Antifreeze level and condition, we want to make sure the freeze point of the antifreeze is correct for the climate you're in.
Your brakes are the most important safety system in your vehicle.
Any kind of stopping on a slick condition, you're going to experience a wheel lockup. And if that system's malfunctioning, it can't release the brakes on that one tire to better stop the vehicle.
And if anyone feels uncomfortable doing their own inspections, they're asked to contact professionals. The earlier, the better. In Spokane, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Well, the official winter forecast is out, and it's predicting a busy year for the inland Northwest. But we've said that before and haven't exactly gotten what we bargained for. New at 6 meteorologist Matt Gray is here to show us why and what we should be looking for this year.
That's right, Kirsten. This is the NOAA winter forecast for the Pacific Northwest. It is about the same as the past couple of years, a greater chance for cold weather and a better chance for wet and snowy weather as well. Mostly that's because of, well, you've heard me say it a lot, our old friend La Nina. But recently La Nina hasn't really affected us the way we would think around Spokane. In fact, we've had pretty average snow over the past couple of winters. So let's look at another climate cycle that La Nina is actually supposed to bully around and create that cold and snow. This is called the Pacific North American Pattern, the PNA. La Nina should make the negative phase of this cycle our dominant winter pattern, high pressure over the ocean, low pressures, cold and snowy weather over the northwest. Now, the positive phase of this is the exact opposite. And you know what? It looks a whole lot like the weather we have seen this fall up, of course, until today. Highs over the northwest, low pressure over the Pacific, and warm weather in the eastern U.S. as well. We need more of this negative phase than positive to see a snowy winter. Last winter is actually a really good example of when that doesn't happen. We only had a couple of those negative months on that cycle, and, well, they got pretty snowy. You fast forward to today and this big change in our weather right now, that is part of a flip in this PNA cycle from plus to minus, which should hold for at least the next 10 days and give us a good start, especially up in the mountains. If you love the snow, I still think you should be pretty optimistic. We talk about these types of patterns and climate cycles every winter for a reason. They usually work out, even if they didn't the last couple of times. Random chance, right? But regardless of if we end up with a lot of snow or we end up with just a little, you can count on the First Alert Weather Team to get you ready for whatever winter throws at us this year.
Matt, thank you. Breaking news now. Within the last hour, a federal judge dismissed a lawsuit from 6 Republican states trying to block President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. That lawsuit claimed the Biden administration overstepped its authority by creating the program without going through Congress. Well, the Arkansas Attorney General who filed the lawsuit plans on appealing the court's decision.
Also new tonight, 4 News Now has learned a Cusick man will spend more than 12 years in federal prison for selling fentanyl that killed a teenager. Antoine Holmes was sentenced yesterday at the federal courthouse in Coeur d'Alene. The kid who overdosed and died was only 16 years old. Attorneys say they know they can't win the war on drugs through prosecution, but they say they will continue their work to get drugs off the streets and save lives.
Everyone should understand this is happening in your community. It's breaking apart families and leaving holes in our communities all throughout Idaho. And it's tragic, and we're doing everything we can to address it.
Holmes is also facing charges in eastern Washington for dealing fentanyl. That sentencing could start as soon as next week, and we'll continue to follow the new developments in that court case. We now know the name of the man who was shot and killed by Spokane County deputies near Loon Lake last week.
The Stevens County coroner says 52-year-old Jeffrey Smith died of several gunshot wounds. Spokane County Sheriff's Office says they received a report that Smith shot at a person and threatened to kill that person. He then ran away into a wooded area and began shooting. A SWAT team surrounded the area. They received information from a drone operator who said Smith was heading toward them, which is when 2 Spokane deputies fired their weapons. Those 2 deputies have since been identified as Stephen Blackman and Alex Bouillon. They are on leave pending an investigation by the Spokane Independent Regional Response Team. Well, in 4 News Now sports, there's a new player on the 4 News Now team.
Yeah, Julian Minne is our new sports director. Hi, Julian. How's it going?
Not too bad, guys. Thanks for having me. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we want to welcome you to the team. If you missed the 5 o'clock, we talked to him a little bit about his backstory there. Tonight, though, we're focusing on what's going on in the sports world.
Yeah, the real stories about real people, right? Whether it be Gonzaga, Wazoo, or even the high school circuit, we plan on bringing you all the stories. You know, actually, after my sportscast, I'm going to shoot a really cool one at Central Valley High School. Central Valley, they're hosting Ferris in its senior night, and for one CV senior, this game is a little bit extra special, guys. Linebacker Brandon Thomas is a part of the senior class being honored tonight. Now, you may remember Thomas from previous stories here at 4 News Now. 2 years ago, Thomas lost his leg during his fight with cancer, but he defied the odds and has been a key player for Central Valley while playing with a prosthetic leg, mind you. Now, tonight is his final regular season home game. Kickoff between Central Valley and Ferris is set for 7 o'clock from Central Valley High School, and I'll have that story for you along with more on Nightside. We got sports coming up in a little bit, though.
Sounds good. Thanks, Julian.
Thank you.
Next on 4 News Now at 6, forever chemicals have been found in the Spokane River, where one organization thinks it's coming from. Next on 4 News Now at 6.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app. The internet is full of misinformation about how elections work. There are several things you can do to spot misinformation. Be cautious of headlines designed to provoke anger, fear, or other strong emotions. Double check that the source of information is a trusted expert. And see if other news outlets are also reporting on the issue. You deserve to know the facts about Washington state elections. Visit sos.wa.gov to learn more.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a four-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doug, late for a meeting.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
Are you ready for a Friday morning party live? Then you've come to the right place.
That's right.
Tomorrow morning, Michael's taking you to an HBCU tailgate you won't forget with his pal, Coach Deion Sanders.
Hey, Trey, we ready for you. Good morning, America!
Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi just supersized the IRS to get more money to spend. $80 billion, 5 times the current budget of the IRS. 87,000 new recruits. An IRS larger than the Pentagon. But this battle isn't over. I'll keep fighting to protect law-abiding, hard-working Idahoans. I'm Mike Crapo, and I approve this message. We must stop Washington's overreach.
With more and more people working from home and not being as active as they used to, there's never been a better time to get back to the gym.
And Move Fitness wants to help. You can join now for around $1 a day to create a new routine for you. Join the movement.
New information tonight involving the Spokane River. A recent test result found that PFAS, or forever chemicals, are in the water. These chemicals are known for their inability to break down in the environment or in people.
KXLY's Jordan Smith joins us from the Spokane River tonight with more on what this test found in terms of the amount of chemicals found in the river.
Well, the Spokane Riverkeeper collected water samples over the summer of the Spokane River, and what those tests revealed is that a small amount of PFAS, or forever chemicals, was found in the water. They believe it's related to wastewater pollution.
These kinds of chemicals are going to be very hard on aquatic ecosystems. They build up in fish.
Jerry White Jr. is the executive director for the Spokane Riverkeeper, who works to protect the river's ecological health.
When we find it in the river, what's noticeable and novel about that is there must be a pathway directly into the river. We, of course, looked at the wastewater treatment plant because it's already suspected to be a source for these chemicals.
They suspect these chemicals came from the wastewater treatment facility. The city, however, disagrees, saying the wastewater plant's state-of-the-art filtration system makes it one of the best in the country.
We added membrane filtration technology that's normally used in drinking water treatment to our plant, which processes wastewater.
They contest that because of how prevalent PFAS are in our everyday lives, there are endless possibilities as to how they ended up in the river.
There's a million ways that a chemical like this can get into the river, and this is going to take further study for our river and for rivers all across the nation.
This sampling was a part of a larger series of tests that inspected 114 waterways across the country. 83% of those waterways contained at least one type of PFAS substance. I asked how the Spokane River compared to the other waterways.
Some of those samples that they got back east, they found the PFAS in thousands of parts per trillion.
The good news, an amount of PFAS this low in the Spokane River is not cause for concern. And again, we want to emphasize that this water in the Spokane River is still safe to go enjoy if you'd like to, though this is a story we'll definitely be keeping an eye on moving forward. Reporting at the Spokane River tonight, I'm Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Even with the clouds and isolated showers today, we topped out 10 degrees above average. 65 our high today, 55 is our average high. That's the end of our above average temperatures for a while. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast after the break.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Cal Superstore in Airway Heights.
I'm Spokane County District Court Judge Jeff Smith, and I support Court Commissioner Eric Doima for District Court Judge. Eric's wealth of knowledge and experience make him the most qualified to serve as your next judge in District Court. Eric has over 50 Spokane judicial and attorney endorsements and is endorsed and supported by the entire District Court bench. He is truly committed to fairly serving the people of Spokane County. Join me in voting for District Court Commissioner Eric Doima for District Court Judge this November 8th.
I'm Spokane County District Court Commissioner Eric Doima. I believe in justice for all, and I approve this message.
If you're looking to remodel, redecorate, or make your home more energy efficient and beautiful, then you should check out the new stylish carbon windows from the Coeur d'Alene Window Company. Sold exclusively at McVeigh Brothers Siding and Windows.
Providence has been focused on meeting the needs of the community for over 160 years. And we are honored to bring you top-rated Medicare Advantage coverage. Providence plans start at just $0 and include dental, hearing, and vision. Experience the difference of a community of care, united by compassionate coverage. Providence, join us as we make communities stronger by building true health together.
Tiffany Smiley celebrated the overturning of Roe versus Wade. There's no way I can trust her to protect us.
Tiffany Smiley would tip control of the Senate to Mitch McConnell.
That is a disaster.
She could give Mitch McConnell the power to rig the courts with more anti-choice judges.
And pass a complete nationwide abortion ban. This is serious stuff.
And Tiffany Smiley still supports Donald Trump.
No way. No way.
No way we can trust Tiffany Smiley.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
Everything seems to be getting more and more expensive these days. And it's the same for your heating bills. Since it will cost more to heat your home this winter, USA Insulation wants to give you control over your utility bills. Our premium injection foam keeps the cold outside and your warm, comfortable air inside, right where it belongs. Call now for a $500 early bird discount, plus low monthly payment plans.
USA Insulation.
Partly cloudy skies tonight. Walk the dog, bring the patio cushions in. I did both of those things today because you will be staying dry. Air quality is in the moderate range in Spokane. Winds will be picking up overnight, gusts to 20 miles per hour, 44 for an overnight low, 53 for a high tomorrow. That feels more like fall. We'll start off the day with dry conditions, but plan on rain as early as your lunch break, and then after school, after work tomorrow, that rain will be going. Wind gusts to 20 miles per hour. Here's our chance of rain over the day tomorrow. Starting off dry, really only about a 20% chance of rain in Spokane at noon, but that takes a huge jump between noon and 2 o'clock. And then things really get going as we get into the early evening. It's going to be a soggy Friday night football, and things aren't going to dry out much for Saturday morning soccer games either. Live satellite and radar, one cold front off to our south and east. That brought that little bit of rain right around noon today. We're in the break between systems right now. This one much more hardy and will bring some precipitation with it, breezy conditions, and that dramatic cool down, and that is just the beginning. There are more storms to come, so we have a chance of rain continuing on Saturday. Sunday looks to be the driest day of the forecast, with more showers on Monday and Tuesday, and temperatures staying just a little below average or right around average through the 7-day forecast. This is probably the best news about this change in our weather pattern. Our air quality right now is in the moderate range throughout the region, but we do still have those trouble spots up around the Kootenai Complex fire and other fires burning in North Idaho. We're in the unhealthy range, and of course fires burning in the Cascades. In those locations, that's where we're going to see the heaviest precipitation and the best chance of precipitation over the next several days, not only in the form of rain, but mountain snow, with accumulating snow above 4,000 feet. Smoke forecast quickly showing how the winds picking up today will disperse the smoke that's trapped at the surface. Then the rain comes in to hopefully just put an end to the smoke season for the year. Overnight lows tonight will be down in the 40s. High temperatures tomorrow primarily in the 50s. Lewiston in the 60s. In your planning forecast, plan to be in that temperature range where you're going to at least need a light jacket. Some showers to go along with those cooler temperatures just about every day, and crisp mornings down in the 30s. Aaron?
Thank you, Chris. In our For the People election coverage, Washington's 3rd District covers Spokane from Franklin Park to Lincoln Heights to Browns Edition. Running for re-election this year is Marcus Riccelli, who's had 5 terms and been in office since 2013.
He faces Scotty Nickel, a musician, former assistant to the mayor, and city administrator. Nickel also has experience as a legislative assistant to a city council member. And tonight at 6, Bronte Sorotsky joins us, and she spoke with both candidates and has why they'd like to earn your vote.
Well, Marcus Riccelli says he has a proven track record when it comes to success as a lawmaker. He says he wants to continue in this role and help move the Spokane community forward. Scotty Nickel hasn't held public office before, but has experience as an assistant to the mayor and assistant to council member Carol Stratton. And at 29 years old, says he hopes to inspire other young people to get engaged in politics. Washington's 3rd legislative district covers parts of North Spokane to the South Hill. Marcus Riccelli has been representing this district since 2013. He says in that time, he's made strides to better the community.
I've served on healthcare, transportation committees, capital budget, been able to deliver a 2nd medical school in our state, the WSU Medical School, been able to help deliver significantly on infrastructure, like transportation investments.
He's looking for re-election and says one thing he'd like to accomplish is improving public safety by working to find housing for the community's homeless population.
Well, what I think particularly with homelessness is, I saw communities across our state take advantage of state dollars. We really need our local electeds, our city and our county working with the state to come together.
His opponent, Scotty Nickel, hasn't held public office before, but has worked in the mayor's office and for a city council member. Nickel says he wants to connect with other cities who have found long-term solutions to address homelessness.
So why don't we look at what these cities have done and start implementing what they've done, which was successful? They decreased homelessness. So we have examples now. There's no more excuses.
Riccelli says economic development and ensuring people can afford to live in Washington is another main focus of his.
I think it's important to have worker protections, but also make sure that we're paying people good family wage living jobs so that they can be successful, they can put food on the table, and they can have a roof over their head.
Nichols says he wants to work to lower taxes for Washington residents and small businesses.
Make it easier to do business in Washington. That's so important, and that will enhance our economic development, but also we cannot be overly taxed. Overtaxing people, it's not right, it's not fair, it's not okay.
And with Election Day just 19 days away, 4 News Now continues to follow up with candidates so you can stay up to date before you cast your vote. Reporting live in studio, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Bronte, thank you. One race you'll want to keep an eye on is for Washington Senate between Tiffany Smiley or I should say U.S. Senate, and that's between Tiffany Smiley and Patty Murray. This is Smiley's first time running for office. The winner of this race could shift the balance of power in Washington, D.C. They'll be going head-to-head in a debate this weekend at Gonzaga University. You can watch the entire debate Sunday at 5 o'clock right here on 4 News Now, or you can watch it on the go on KXLY.com or KXLY+.
Washington State football is looking to correct its mistakes before next week's matchup against Utah. We break down what the Cougs need to do to get back on track.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
If you're looking to remodel your home with some new stylish flooring or maybe some modern wallscape ideas, then you need to visit one of Windsor Plywood's 2 locations for the best selection of doors, floors, moldings, and more.
Windsor Plywood.
There's a clear choice for Senate. While Tiffany Smiley stood with Mitch McConnell and the big drug companies to oppose lowering the cost of prescription drugs, Patty Murray is busy working for us.
I worked with Democrats and Republicans to ban surprise medical bills, and I led the fight to pass legislation to lower the cost of prescription drugs, including capping insulin at $35 a month. I'm Patty Murray. I approve this message to focus on what really matters, you.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
This time of year, conditions can change drastically in minutes. For weather that extreme, you need the 4 News Now First Alert Weather Team. Online, on the air, and on the app. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
It's time for 4 News Now Coats for Kids. Just drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate to Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Hi everyone, here at Albertsons and Safeway we are collecting coats for kids again. Please bring by your new or gently used jackets and get a free flu shot at any of our Eastern Washington and North Idaho stores. Thank you.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
You know, something tells me Washington State head coach Jake Dickert isn't sitting at home twiddling his thumbs during the bye week, right? After losing the last 2 games, the Cougars are looking to right the ship, but Wazoo better hurry because they're taking on number 15 Utah at Martin Stadium a week from tonight. And Alex Crescenti breaks down the struggling Cougar offense in this week's Chalk Talk.
After getting off to a 4-1 start, the Washington State Cougars have now dropped 2 straight games, and any momentum they had previously seems to be gone at this point. So maybe it is a good thing that they're in the bye week, but it's been one side of the ball that struggled to put together a complete 60-minute game, and that's what we're diving into in this week's Cougar Chalk Talk.
When fall camp opened at the beginning of August, we heard a lot of hype surrounding the offense.
I just love how we run it, being able to play at multiple speeds.
Everyone knows their job, knows what they're supposed to do, looking at the hot reads and everything and reading coverages.
Cam's going to be real nice. He has an arm. He could make those Patrick Mahomes throws.
However, 7 games into the season, it's been anything but nice, with the offense averaging just 369 yards a game. That ranks 10th in the Pac-12. And the rushing game, well, that's dead last with just 89 yards a game. I mean, what is this, the Mike Leach days? And when you can't really move the ball, you can't score. The Cougs are 10th in the conference in points per game and offensive touchdowns, also a far cry from the Leach era. As for Cam Ward, the transition from FCS to FBS has been a bumpy one, to say the least. With his 8 interceptions, that's enough to be second highest in the Pac-12. And if this team needs to get into a shootout to win a game, it's not likely they can go blow for blow with the likes of Utah or Washington, which may be required to get to bowl eligibility. And yes, I know this team is dealing with injuries, but guess what? So is everyone else.
Create some open space.
All right, thanks, Alex. Kickoff between Washington State and number 15 Utah is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Like I said, 1 week from tonight, Martin Stadium is the site for it. The Cougars are looking to snap a 3-game losing streak to the Utes. That last win win for the Cougs coming in 2018, also in Pullman. The Seattle Mariners will not be playing for the ultimate prize of a World Series, but one player could still go home with some hardware. Seattle's Cal Raleigh is one of 3 finalists for the American League Gold Glove Award at catcher. Gold Gloves are given to the best defensive players in all of baseball. If Raleigh wins the award, he will be the first catcher in Mariners history to do so. Raleigh ranked 2nd in all of baseball in throwing out stealing base runners this past season. Raleigh also hit the walk-off, as you see right there, that clinched the playoff spot for Seattle, ending the 21-year postseason drought. That'll wrap us up for sports, guys.
Julian, thank you. Some big changes are coming to Spokane International.
When they're expected to be completed and how it could improve travel, that's coming up. And an ultimatum at Camp Hope. The new rules people will need to follow or risk being kicked out. Coming up next on 4 News Now at 6 o'clock.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
We voted for Patty Murray 4 times before.
But not this year.
Not this time.
Prices at the grocery store keep going up.
Our 401ks are losing value. We're headed in the wrong direction, and we need new blood.
It's time for Tiffany Smiley.
If we don't find ourselves comfortable enough to make a change, then change isn't going to happen.
This isn't about a party. This is about the future of Washington.
I think we can do better. Voting for Tiffany Smiley is doing better.
I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
This is it, the moment you've been waiting for. Game day. No, game days. More than you can count. And at Turf Club Sportsbook, we've got all the action. With real sports betting, wall-to-wall HDTVs, and luxury seating. Just off the casino floor at Northern Quest, so you can bet, watch, and win on every game day. Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer. Only at Northern Quest.
Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi just supersized the IRS to get more money to spend. $80 billion, 5 times the current budget of the IRS. 87,000 new recruits, an IRS larger than the Pentagon. But this battle isn't over. I'll keep fighting to protect law-abiding, hard-working Idahoans. I'm Mike Crapo, and I approve this message. We must stop Washington's overreach.
Enjoy the natural beauty of Coeur d'Alene with our fall stay and cruise package. Book your stay today at cdaresort.com.
Next, E.T.
I was the one holding the gun, yeah.
The Rust movie tragedy 1 year later. The latest on possible criminal charges, plus our exclusive with an eyewitness on set.
It's one of those things that you just can't shake.
Ben. Our exclusive with Tom Hanks and Savannah Guthrie in D.C. And...
Hi!
15-time Grammy winner CeCe Winans gives E.T. an exclusive tour of her home on wheels. Next, E.T.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Get a badge or get out. That's the new message at Camp Hope. Time is running out to get on board because big changes are coming. Camp managers want to be able to track people receiving services and know who's living there, because for the last 9 months, the camp has been open to just about anyone.
Come Saturday, camp managers say they're closing the site and anyone without a badge will not be allowed back in. Esther Bauer's tracking these new developments for us tonight. She's live at the camp to break down the changes.
Well, guys, ID badging just wrapped up here at this service tent for the night. But I want to make clear, people are not just walking up and being given this badge. Take a look at your screen. Before they receive a badge, campers have to sign this agreement. It's a set of new rules and expectations they have to follow if they want to stay living here at this camp.
If you don't want to really grow here,
you know, there's not really a point to be here.
Jared Fullen was first in line to get his new badge. He's been at the camp since September and wishes measures like this would have been in place sooner.
There was just a lot of stagnant people, and I think that the ID badge thing really helped people just get up off their butts and start doing something with their time.
Time is running out for people to get badged.
There just has to be a hard deadline for us of dates, and it's Friday at 5 p.m.
Come Saturday morning, camp managers say if people don't have ID,
we will take you, we will load up your things, and we will move you to wherever you would like to go, but we do that immediately.
In addition to a new badge, campers are also completing this needs assessment, outlining what services will help them exit homelessness. They also have to say they'll be a good neighbor to each other and the surrounding community. Some of the expectations in the new rules are people can't possess or use drugs and alcohol on site. They'll also be reevaluated every 30 days. Extensions will only be granted if people are engaging with service providers.
I'm starting to work on getting my life back in order and getting off the streets.
Jared says he's now working on his drug addiction and working to find housing. He's happy to have this new badge, a piece of plastic helping him start a new life. And these security guards behind me are the ones who are going to be enforcing these new rules. The Department of Transportation brought this team on recently to secure this site and start these new rules. Now, camp managers tell me as of today, around 100 people have signed up to receive their new badges. And the number we're all watching as winter inches closer is how many people are leaving the site and officially moving out. I'm told as of right now, 349 people have successfully left and don't live here anymore. Reporting live in East Central, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
Oh, live look over downtown Spokane. A very different scene 24 hours from now. If you have plans to head out for Friday night fun, you're going to want to find your raincoat. I got to find my raincoat, umbrella too. Here's a look at 4 things to know about your weather. We have rain on the way for Friday. That is going to get rid of the smoke along with breezy conditions. Well, wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. A cooling trend starts tomorrow, actually already underway, and we have mountain snow piling up over 4,000 feet. Our high temperatures today, we were not in the 70s. Our record stands at 19 days of 70-degree or warmer weather for the month of October. 64 right now in downtown and Spokane Valley. We're already in the 50s in Meade, Spangle, and Cheney. Meanwhile, those were our highs, rather. Temperatures right now are in the 50s in most locations. At 60 in Coeur d'Alene and at the airport in Spokane, 61 in Spokane Valley. Here's a look at our forecast radar for Friday. Give you an idea of the timing on this precipitation. At least a chance of rain by noon tomorrow over much of the region. That is going to pick up in intensity in the afternoon and evening. That blue you see, that's some mountain snow or a rain snow mix falling over Mount Spokane, and as Micah Peak perhaps getting a little bit of snow as well. Your Friday planner for tomorrow, our average high is 55. We'll be very close with a high of 53. We'll hit that early in the day. Then once the rain starts, our temperature will start dropping. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast, plus the outlook fresh from the Climate Prediction Center for the month of November. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. The Spokane International Airport is making way for more passengers.
A $150 million expansion will add more gates, revamp existing gates, and add more ticket counters. Vanessa Perez live at the airport with a look at those upcoming changes. Vanessa.
That's right. The airport is expected to get bigger to accommodate even more passengers. This project is set to bring more jobs and boost the economy. Crews are making way for more planes to fly in.
This timing is really strategic and critical because we want to deliver this additional gate capacity so that we can continue to take advantage of growth opportunities as Spokane continues to grow.
The airport is seeing pre-pandemic passenger level numbers. 2019 brought 4 million passengers. Those levels are only going to grow.
The project is really creating a tremendous economic impact in the community just by virtue of the construction activity. But even when it's done, the fact that we'll be able to use these additional gates to hopefully expand nonstop service or add frequencies to markets that people want to travel in from our metropolitan area.
When it's all done, it'll look like this. The terminal will have 3 additional gates. The eastern portion is also being revamped. 3 loading bridges will be added over on that end. The expansion creates more opportunities for those vacationing and doing business in Spokane.
And so this will help our existing businesses communicate and contact with the rest of the world, and it'll help the rest of the world come to Spokane.
The $150 million project is funded through state and federal grants and airport revenue.
Major investment in our community, major investment in infrastructure, and it's not going to cost our taxpayers any money.
Airport officials say we can expect to see this project wrapped up in 2025. Live at the Spokane International Airport, Vanessa Perez, 4 News Now.
New tonight at 6:30, the CDC says more than 4 million people have rolled up their sleeves to get the updated COVID-19 booster shot last week. The new bivalent vaccine is said to better protect against the Omicron subvariants as well as the original strain. In Spokane County, vaccination rates have skyrocketed over the last few weeks. At the start of September, the 7-day average for doses given out was 104. Last week, that number grew to over 1,100. Health officials say COVID-19 cases are falling in the U.S., but fear that trend could reverse as the winter season arrives. In Idaho, more than 450,000 people have received a booster dose.
Also new tonight, home sales dropped for the 8th month in a row in September. That's the lowest sales slump since the mortgage collapse back in 2007, and we are seeing a similar trend here in the Inland Northwest. According to the Spokane Association of Realtors, 618 homes were sold last month, down 27% from September of 2021. In Kootenai County, a little over 2,000 homes were sold, which is down 22% from this time last year. Usually a slowing housing market means more houses are available, which pushes the prices down. But there are far fewer new listings because homeowners want to hold on to that lower mortgage rate. So the houses that are for sale are going for more, but there are still bidding wars because there aren't very many to choose from.
Around the nation tonight, 5 daycare workers allegedly responsible for this video showing an adult wearing a scary mask and terrifying small children in Mississippi are facing child abuse charges. At one point in the video, you can see one of them chasing and grabbing a toddler. One mother saying her 2-year-old son is still showing signs of trauma and is hardly sleeping through the night.
I hope you're enjoying jail, and I hope you realize what you've done is serious and it's not a joke and it's nothing to laugh at.
The owner of the center, who hasn't been charged, says she wasn't aware of what was happening, adding that the behavior of the workers is not tolerated. A grand jury will meet next year to decide whether there's enough evidence to charge them with a felony. Well, the British Prime Minister is stepping down just 2 months after taking office.
What this means going forward for the U.S.'s closest ally coming up. Plus,
there's a soft goods drive happening right now at Grant Elementary that is providing opportunity and resources for some students who may otherwise not have it. I have the details on how that could also benefit you coming up in just a few minutes.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
ABC News, honored for excellence with 41 Emmy nominations, the most of any news organization anywhere. Thank you for making ABC News America's #1 news.
A lot of politicians like to talk big, but where's the action? Al French is a leader we can trust, and Al's results speak for themselves. Al has won funding for our roads to keep goods moving. As costs skyrocket, Al has pledged no county property tax increase. His opponent wants to give criminals a get-out-of-jail-free card, while Al dedicated more funding to the Sheriff's Department to keep families safe.
I'm Al French. I'm asking for your vote so I can keep getting results for you.
Considering selling your RV? R&R wants it. Tired of paying storage fees? R&R needs it. Just don't use it anymore? R&R will buy it. Due to a critical shortage of pre-owned RVs, R&R RV is currently paying absolute top dollar for your used RV. Any year, any make, any model. Turn your RV into cash or flip it for a newer model. So if you no longer use it or want it, let R&R RV buy it. Visit the R&R RV Superstore in North Spokane or call Ryan at 509-244-5888.
I want to talk to you about the night your daughter went missing. The police don't want to solve these crimes.
We need to prove it.
This job isn't easy. So we do it because it matters.
If you're looking to remodel, redecorate, or make your home more energy efficient and beautiful, then you should check out the new stylish carbon windows from the Coeur d'Alene Window Company. Sold exclusively at McVeigh Brothers Siding and Windows.
Vote with confidence this November. In Washington, our layered cybersecurity systems, trained officials, and election audits make sure every vote is counted accurately. After you've received your ballot packet in the mail, fill it out and send it back in your signed return envelope. You can also put it in an official Dropbox or submit it in person. Visit votewa.gov to register, find voting locations, and check your ballot status.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of certified used or new SUVs and trucks just in time for the winter months, plus get up to 60 months low interest financing, then come on down to Findlay for a touchdown of savings.
Well, here's a story you might have seen gaining some traction on our Facebook page. Beavers are becoming an issue at Riverfront Park. These photos were sent in to 4 News Now by a viewer, and Parks and Recreation says there's a beaver who got the best of a tree and caused it to fall onto the walking bridge right over the Centennial Trail, so people couldn't get by. And if this continues, Riverfront Park says it's going to do a catch and release with the beavers and relocate them to a safer area. I love that story. Not because people were blocked, but just because the beavers are getting some much needed attention.
And you can see beavers often down at the Riverfront Park area. Yeah, I've seen them before.
Yeah, take some videos. Well, as the fall weather finally settles in, it's time to transition our closets in our homes.
If your family has outgrown a lot of their soft goods, which includes clothing, bedding, things like that, there's an opportunity to conveniently donate it while benefiting students in our community who could really use your help. New at 6:30, Emily Bloom shares how it'll benefit local kids.
There's a soft goods drive happening right now at Grant Elementary that is providing opportunity and resources for kids who may otherwise not have it. You can clear out your closet while also helping kids in need.
So the soft goods drive is awesome. I don't know about you, but I have 4 kids, and as soon as the weather starts to get cold, all of a sudden all the pants are too short and all the long sleeves are too, and we're overflowing with clothes that don't fit, or I will never wear that again. I've heard more than once from my teenagers.
Kat Hawker is a mom of 4 and a member of Team Grant.
I get to clean up my closets, and I get to get rid of everything that nobody in our house wants anymore, and then we get to raise money for the school. So it's totally a win-win.
They've partnered with Value Village, and they will get 20 cents for every pound of soft goods that are brought in.
Sheets that you no longer use, like if you've got bigger kids and you've got some, My Little Pony sheets, those can probably go away as well.
Towels, socks, linens, shoes, anything soft. And they don't need to be in perfect condition either. Any clothes that are too worn will be sent to fabric recycling.
If we can support the staff, then they can support our students and they can support our communities.
It's events like this.
I have to tell you, it has been the greatest joy of my life to get to write a book.
A visit from a West Side author they're able to fund through the donations.
So every kid who gets to visit with that author today gets to go home with a copy of that book.
At this school, items like books and school supplies aren't a given, they're a luxury. In previous years, they've made up to $300. They hope to raise much more this time around.
It goes towards field trips, because not everyone can afford to go on a field trip, and we want to make sure that no one gets left behind.
If you'd like to contribute, simply drop off your goods in this trailer right outside of Grant Elementary. It'll be here until 7 p.m. tonight and 4 p.m. on Friday. Reporting in Spokane, Emily Bloom, 4 News Now.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's Station 19 at 8, followed by Grey's Anatomy at 9. Then it's Alaska Daily at 10 o'clock.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
fun, all in one place. River Park Square.
They keep us safe, put their lives on the line every day. Yet radicals want to defund the police and give criminals get-out-of-jail-free cards. That's the last thing we need. Law enforcement has a champion, Kathy McMorris Rogers. Kathy says no to defunding the police and voted to secure more funding for local police departments. Endorsed by police and sheriffs, Kathy backs the blue and they back her.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers and I approve this message.
Celebrate 25 years of magical memories at Coeur d'Alene's Holiday Light Show. Make your holiday bright with a stay at your favorite hotel on the lake.
Julian Casino's annual Halloween Boo Bash is Saturday, October 29th. This year's theme is Heroes and Villains. Dress up in your favorite Heroes and Villains Halloween costume. You could win your share of $1,800 cash, cash prizes, and door prizes, costume contest, music with Key 101, jackpots, food, and fun. Chihuahua Casino is the place that treats you right. 100% non-smoking. Learn more at ChihuahuaCasino.com.
Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi just supersized the IRS to get more money to spend. $80 billion, 5 times the current budget of the IRS. 87,000 new recruits, an IRS larger than the Pentagon. But this battle isn't over. I'll keep fighting to protect law-abiding, hard-working Idahoans. I'm Mike Crapo, and I approve this message. We must stop Washington's overreach.
4 News Now is brought to you by Washington State Employees Credit Union.
It was the coolest day of the month so far. 65, our high, 10 degrees above average. We're going to be back in average territory and just a little below. Really, these temperatures, as shocking as they may be to the system at first, because we've been acclimated to 70s, we're not too far from our average high. This white line right here is average. We'll be primarily in the lower 50s, may stay in the 40s on Monday. Our forecast, we talked about the winter forecast in the last half hour with meteorologist Matt Gray, and that is going to reside on KXOY.com if you want to take another look. But the month of November, before we get to that forecast, nothing to indicate above or below average temperatures for that time period. You have to get further into the south, southern Idaho, southern Oregon to find hints of above average temperatures. Different story regarding our precipitation, above average precipitation in the forecast from the Climate Prediction Center for November. Especially important if you are staring longingly at your skis, thinking about that goal of a Thanksgiving opening. If that pans out, this forecast, we should be skiing at least in a couple of places by Thanksgiving. So fingers crossed that it does. Just a couple of things about November. It used to be tied with December for our wettest month in Spokane, but when they redid the climate averages in 2020, it moved into second place behind December. We averaged just over 2 inches of precipitation. That is rainfall as well as any melted snow. We average about a ½ foot of snow in the month of November. It's hard to imagine, but it is coming. But we're talking rain in the valleys over the next 24 hours. Here is a 12-hour rain chance starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow. It'll be a dry start to the day. If you want to get out and clean out the backyard, if you have dogs, that's on my to-do list tomorrow morning. Unless you want to come and do that for me, I'll get that done before the rain starts. We're heading up to an 80% chance of rain by this time tomorrow. Here's a look at our upper level winds starting off at our current time. We have gone from a very amplified ridge of high pressure for most of October to more of a westerly flow right now. It allowed a cold front to move through today with a few showers. Then we'll get this dip in the jet stream, an upper level trough on Saturday. Cooler, wetter weather, and that is the trend through the planning forecast. We'll see those highs in the 50s, overnight lows down in the 30s. We have yet to reach the 30s in Spokane. We're overdue for that. Showers possible just about every day through the 7-day forecast. Sunday may be our one completely dry day. Aaron?
Chris, thank you. Around the world tonight, the second prime minister in the UK has resigned in just as many months, making Liz Truss the shortest serving prime minister ever.
CNN's Mike Valerio explains why world leaders, including the U.S., were concerned with her vision of the UK.
To her growing list of critics, it was simply a matter of no trust in the Truss government. Just one day after British Prime Minister Liz Truss said she wasn't leaving 10 Downing Street.
Mr. Speaker, I am a fighter and not a quitter.
Truss resigned less than 2 months after the late Queen Elizabeth II asked her to form a government.
I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party.
She's now set to become the shortest-serving prime minister in British history. Her proposed tax cuts for the wealthy, as middle-class Britons face a bleak winter of economic hardship, sent the British pound into a tailspin. The government has since walked back its tax plan. Fellow Conservative members of Parliament are now looking to steady the ship.
We're not playing the role that we usually play on the international stage, with the world getting more dangerous, not less. It's been very, very difficult.
President Joe Biden saying he's not concerned about potential economic instability in the UK spilling over into the U.S., days after he publicly called Truss's trickle-down economic vision a mistake. Outside the White House this morning.
Look, she was a good partner on Russia and Ukraine, and the British are going to solve their problem, but she was a good partner.
As for what's next, Britain's Conservative Party says it will have a new party leader and therefore the next prime minister ready by next Friday. But the opposition Labour Party is calling foul and wants an early nationwide general election. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Come celebrate Ironstone Furniture and Fire's 20-year anniversary. Customize your home now and save 20% off of all in-stock furniture and accessories during the sale. Ironstone Furniture and Fire offers sophisticated style, superior comfort, and endless possibilities. So, if you're looking for casual elegance at its best, don't miss Ironstone Furniture and Fire's 20-year anniversary sale.
My dad was a World War II veteran. The promise we make to veterans to care for them when they return home is personal to me. I've brought senators from both parties together to increase benefits, help more veterans find homes and good jobs, and hold the VA accountable to give veterans the excellent care they deserve. I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message because I'll never stop standing up for Washington's veterans.
Concepts. Beauty set in stone.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader. It goes like one margarita.
Bluebird in my heart. Baby, you're playing hard to forget.
The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
From the stories you should know.
They just ripped the ATM out of the wall.
Up in a Black Hawk helicopter.
To the stories you need to know.
Mattresses can turn into flying missiles.
From the stories that change the way you think.
Were you trying to rip me off? I think he's down there.
to the stories that affect the way you feel.
It's one big party!
Inside Edition.
These are the stories that impact your life.
Weeknights at 7, only on 4 News Now.
Dry and mild this evening. If you've got some outdoor chores, put on your headlamp. Go for a jog.
I need that. It's dark already out there. Seeing our live shots.
Oh, and then rain tomorrow. Good thing I got my gutters put back up. That would have been bad.
Oh, that's a good one.